everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ligaya Figueres, the Food and Dining Editor for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Every Thursday we get out and about around Greater Atlanta checking out what's new and exciting in the scene, and today I find myself at Taqueria Del Sol at its Chamblee location. It's one of 4 locations that this regional taco chain has here in Atlanta, the place where it also began many years ago, actually in the year 2000. The reason that we're here is because of this special book. It's called Turnip Greens and Tortillas, and it's by Eddie Hernandez and Susan Puckett. Standing with me today is Chef Eddie himself. Many of you're a familiar face to many folks.
You finally get to see some of the food that we cook at Taqueria Del Sol. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Ligaya, for having me.
Thank you for having us, and congratulations, first of all. This is really exciting. We're thrilled for you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
So I mentioned to them that, well, first of all, before we get any further, as we go along, you're welcome to ask any questions, but throw those in the comment section, and we know that they can do that in either English.
And for those who don't speak English, ask in Spanish.
There you go.
Hablamos español.
Okay, see. So a little bit about the book. These are many of the recipes that people have come to know and love at Taqueria Del Sol. Now you're sharing it with the rest of the world.
Oh yeah, they always ask us for the recipe for this and that and that. We decided to make it easy. We put it on a book. Now you can cook it at home, have a great time with it, make it look like a chef. Right,
so the book launches on April 10th. I know you'll be doing various author appearances, particularly around Atlanta. I know they'll be able to get the book at any of the Taqueria Del Sol locations. But today we're going to get a sneak peek on some of these recipes. Before we get started, just because I know this book has been a labor of love, I want to show you something. I dug up. This is from the AJC's archives. Here's a photo that dates from 2001.
I still had hair on that
Chef
picture.
Eddie over there and his business partner, Mike Klang. The two of them, again, as I mentioned, founded Taqueria Del Sol back in 2000, and here we are today, and you guys have grown.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
If you look at the garden, you can tell the difference of how much we have changed over the years. And I love it. I like it.
You guys might have changed appearance-wise, but I think your personality
we're still the same.
Still the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are, as we say in Mexico, un par de locos.
Awesome. So I do want to introduce one other person who is graciously come to be here today, and this is Susan Puckett, the other half of this book. Yes, congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so excited for you. Susan, by the way, is also a former AJC Food Editor, so we share something in common here. So how long have you guys been working on this book? Tell me about this labor of love.
We started it, the book was planted about 7 years ago when I first approached Mike and Eddie to see if they had ever thought about doing a cookbook, and this was something I fantasized about, is being a fan for, God, probably over 20 years of all of your restaurants.
Right. That's awesome. Well, and I know too that you guys had spent many Saturday mornings testing recipes, eating recipes, you learning about his style and exactly what goes into them. So, gain a few pounds.
Yeah, it was terrible.
No gaining pounds from my food.
No gaining, I know, no gaining pounds.
It's so good.
Look at the picture. Look at me.
All right, there you go. Yeah, no, you look great. So help us to look great. You're going to prepare a few things for us. Tell everybody what you're going to make, and let's get started cooking.
Well, we're going to do one of my son's favorite things when he was little, the natilla, which we do have at Taqueria Del Sol. It's not on the menu. You have to be sort of like part of the society of Taqueria Del Sol, or you're not getting any natilla. This is a dessert that is very, very, I don't know, it's one of my memories that I cherish the most, that my mom used to make for me. And you get to try it both ways.
Okay.
The way I used to eat it, and the way my mom used to make it.
Okay.
So it's very simple. It's all milk. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla, some cinnamon, some sugar, and basically what we're going to do, we're going to bring it almost to a boil.
All right.
Okay?
Yes, and I'm looking at it here for those of you who check out page 274. It's called natilla again, and it's pretty much as a vanilla custard, right?
Yeah.
Or vanilla pudding.
Basically what it is, a vanilla pudding, but in Mexico we call it atole. And my mom used to make it with strawberry or guanábana and all kinds of fruits.
Right.
But she used to buy like the little packages, and I didn't care. It tasted good, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay.
So basically what it is, once you have everything in here, all you got to do is wait for the meal to almost boil. And then we're going to thicken it with a little bit of cornstarch and some milk. And if you look in the book, you will see the process. But you get to watch it right now. I don't know if you
And
can
I think
see
actually you said in the book that the cornstarch is one of your ways for actually lightening the lightening this dish up instead of being heavy with like all the eggs and whatnot.
Also, it makes it gluten-free.
Okay, gluten-free too.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've been learning to cook a lot is without the flour, because times change, eating habits change for health reasons and stuff like that. So the only thing you got to do is just wait for that.
Okay.
It's
Now,
going to take a minute for the vanilla.
this is a special off the menu item, and we can find it at any Taqueria Del Sol location,
Yes.
right? But can only the kids get it, or can the adults ask them to?
I think more adults eat it rather than the kids. Now you see, once it starts to boil, you don't want to make a mess, so you want to take it out of the fire and then put it right back. Then we're going to add the cornstarch and the milk until it thickens. And you want to, if you look, until you see the ribbons in here, and then the natilla is done.
Oh, look at that, nicely thickened already. That was very fast.
Yeah, no, and also it's really, really easy to make. My mom used to make it hot for me, and we call it atole. If you look, you want to coat the spoon. Once it's coated in the spoon, then you get to go.
Okay.
You get to try it that way.
All right, I'm going to
Susan,
try it the way your mom made it.
Yeah.
Hot.
Did you ever try it hot, Susan?
I did when I was making it.
That's delicious. This is delicious.
And I like it that way. And my mom used to, serve it to me with either cookies or bread and stuff like that.
That would be nice in the wintertime too, especially when you need something warm.
And then the only thing you do, you put it in a little container. Don't fill it all the way to the top, like some of my helpers do. And then we're going to put it in the cooler and chill it. So it's going to go into the cooler, and then we're going to chill it down. Once it comes out of the cooler, it's going to look solid. See?
Beautiful, yeah.
And this is the way it looks. Now we got to make a Taqueria Del Sol.
Okay,
So
and what's
now
the Taqueria Del Sol way?
we got to
Tell
put
them what the S is for.
Yeah, what is the S?
the S stands for Sundown Cafe.
Sundown Cafe. Ah, that's right, because this is actually where it originated, right?
Uh-huh.
It was
And
a
then
popular item back.
Then we add a little cinnamon on top of it, ground cinnamon. Voila, there you go. There's a natilla. Now you get to taste it cold.
Okay.
And
Susan, you want to help
you see,
out?
I think I can do
two different ways of cooking. It's something that, like, I grew up eating it hot. I love it hot, but the kids love the cold.
Right.
And then they get a little
That's
taste
so
of the
delicious.
chocolate and the cinnamon, and that really goes a long way with the kids.
If you're just joining us, I'm Ligaya Figueres, the food and dining editor for the AJC. We're at Taqueria Del Sol today at its Chambly location. I'm with Eddie Hernandez and Susan Puckett. Eddie is both the co-founder of Taqueria Del Sol, which I opened first back in 2000, and he and Susan both authored this new cookbook, Turnip Greens and Tortillas, which is going to be released April 10th. So we're learning about a few of the recipes that are featured in the book, but also the same ones that you can order here at Taqueria Del Sol. We just learned about natilla, which is an off-the-menu item. You got to know to ask for it. It's a delicious dessert. So what's up next? It's really good. Should we just keep eating? All right, I'll make the queso dip. No. Okay.
No, we're gonna do the turnip greens now.
Okay, next is turnip
Now,
greens.
this is one of the recipes that a lot of people always ask me that how come it doesn't taste the same when they do it. Part of the problem is that a lot of people like to cook the greens everything at one time. It's a process.
Okay.
So you have to know a little bit about how we do the greens at Taqueria Del Sol. We're going to start with a little bit of you can do margarine, you can do butter, you can do oil.
Okay, what do you prefer, margarine, butter, or oil?
Whatever you have.
Okay.
It really is just something to build the sauce.
Okay.
And the sauce is going to have the chile de arbol, the onions, the garlic, and tomatoes. And what we do with these things, I'm gonna put it right here so that people can actually see it. And this is basically is gonna make the base for the turnip greens.
Okay.
And what we do is just, we're gonna start with our garlic,
Minced
and
onion there.
onions, and you wanna build this thing up. Like you're making a sauce. Like in Mexico, we love to make salsa. But this one is like the one that I'm really coming. Now, this is chile de árbol. You have to be careful with these things.
Okay.
The recipe in the book, it actually is the way you gotta do it. But when you wanna do it like this is where the freedom to make it the way you like it comes in.
So it's either gonna be super spicy or not so
Or it's
either.
not. It depends on how you like.
Right.
I want people to cook the way they like. Just because I put a spoon of chile de árbol, that doesn't mean that you have to put a spoon. You can start with a half a spoon, and then as you go through, you become immune to the heat, then you can increase the heat.
Okay.
So all we gotta do is sweat the onions and the garlic and allow the pepper to release the oils in the pepper to make the sauce. Once you get all that going on, then we're gonna add the tomatoes. Now tomatoes is another thing. I like a lot of tomatoes in mine, but you don't have to put a lot of tomatoes in yours. You know, a recipe, if you're on the recipe, it's your recipe. Even though that I wrote that recipe, now it's yours. Now you can do whatever you want with it.
Right.
So I want people to have the freedom to modify the recipe if they like. You know, by all means. I mean, if you don't like it too spicy, then put a lot of pepper. If you don't like chicken stock, use vegetable stock. You can use pork stock.
Right.
Anything you want, anything goes.
How did you come up with this particular recipe though for turnip greens? Because I think I understand that, you know, initially turnip greens isn't anything necessarily that you had cooked for and cooked with in Mexico. So, okay, so you could, and typically, you know, the traditional preparation for these would be like, say with fatback, you know, and or ham hock, sorry. But
Let's show the greens. Now these greens, the only thing I've done to these greens, I cook them in water.
Okay.
No salt, no seasoning, nothing.
Okay.
Then throw the water away. Because that's where it gets bitter.
Okay, the water itself.
The water is the bitter part of the green itself.
Okay.
So you want to remove that. Then
And it looks like you really pressed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to feed all
Pressed
of
out
it.
the liquid. Okay.
Yeah, you got to get rid of all the water.
Okay.
And then we're just going to add the greens into the pot.
If you're just joining, this is Chef Eddie Hernandez. He's from Taqueria Del Sol. He's one of the co-founders of the restaurant. And he is also now the author of his first cookbook, along with Susan Puckett here, who is standing.
She did all the work. I did, she likes it when I go. I wrote the recipes and I provide the jada. You know what I mean? And then we're going to add chicken stock to the greens. And you'll see in a second. Now you see how it looks, you can see the tomatoes and
Sure.
you can see the greens. So now we're just gonna let it simmer
Okay.
for about 20 minutes. And they'll be ready to go. But here's the funny thing. Once you make your sauce, you can taste them. And then you'll see. This is when I decide.
Oh, that's delicious.
When
That is delicious.
When I decide whether it needs more salt or not.
Or maybe more heat from the peppers.
No, actually,
I think it's perfect.
it's perfect right there.
Okay, so this is also easy time saver because a lot of times we think, all right, I got to cook my greens down and it's going to slow simmer for hours.
Yeah.
This is
Nothing.
pretty quick.
You know, we blanch it, we cook the greens first, but about 20 minutes in the water. You still want it to retain some of the color because you want them to absorb the flavor of the chicken stock and the peppers and the garlic and all that.
Right.
And that's what makes the difference. That's why people have a hard time making this thing. It ain't because it's hard. It is because sometimes we cannot comprehend how come there's no ham stock. Well, because it's different. So you don't worry about that. Trust me.
Don't worry. Trust Eddie. Trust Eddie. Okay then. All right.
I promise
Okay.
you.
So let's get started on our queso.
Okay.
Another very super popular item at Taqueria Del Sol is your jalapeno queso dip.
While you talk over there, I'm gonna get rid of this, and then we'll set up with the chickpea.
That is beautiful. It smells great. The taste is phenomenal.
And you see how they look? I mean, that's so easy to do that. That's why I always said there's no excuse not to cook anything out of this book, because it's really, really easy.
Okay, so the last thing, this queso dip is just addictive. I can't wait to see you make it step by step. I know if I do it at home, I won't be quite the same. It's not the same as you making it, but excited to learn.
No. It's going to be exactly the same. This one right here has 3 ingredients only.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really, really complicated. Let me show you. You know, we got pickled jalapenos, milk,
Okay, pickled jalapenos and milk.
and cheese.
Cheese. What kind of cheese?
Well, this one is the one that we talk in the book. It's called Lento Lakes.
Land O'Lakes.
Lento Lakes is a cheese that has no water in it, period. In order to make this cheese, you got to use a cheese that has no water.
Okay.
Because if it has water, it'll break. The water will break the milk, or it'll make it grainy.
Right.
One or the other one something is going to
Okay.
happen.
What if we can't find Land O'Lakes?
Boar's Head is what we recommended in the book.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, as long as it's this type of cheese, the one that really works is White American.
Yeah,
you know
white
the little slices that you use for the
White
sandwich?
American cheese?
Yeah.
Cheese slices, the kind in the little packages,
Yeah,
each one?
yeah.
Okay.
You just chop them up. Do you prep board frost? Make sure you have everything ready to go, because otherwise, while you're trying to grate this cheese, this milk is gonna go all over the place.
Okay.
So
All right.
you gotta
Okay.
keep an eye on this thing, you know. So it's really, really fast.
Okay. All right, here we go with the heat.
So the only thing we're gonna do, just gonna let the milk almost like to the boiling point.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add the cheese and the jalapenos, whisk it till we get tired, and then we're gonna be ready to go.
All right, exciting.
So we're gonna put some over there so we can eat with the
all
cheese.
right, let's have a quick chat, while we're waiting for this milk thing.
Go ahead.
I know that Wendell Brock, who also contributes, he's a food writer for the AJC, he did do a piece on you in Garden and Gun that's appearing in this latest issue. And one of the things that he talks about, and you mentioned it to him, was that you don't mind cutting corners. And we can do whatever we want. Well, but that the editor, with the manuscript, decided to change wherever she saw the word freshly ground black pepper, to change freshly ground. And you say you don't even have a grinder, no pepper grinder. So you're the man of shortcuts. It's all fine, just whatever we have.
Guess what happened when you're hungry? You want to eat now. You don't want to wait a couple of days to get your cheese in. No, you want to go at it. You want more black pepper?
Okay, so don't forget it. Don't worry about getting all fancy with freshly ground black pepper.
No, please don't.
And I guess we don't need to worry if this is kosher salt or not.
No. I do use some kosher salt from time to time when I'm doing pickling.
Okay.
Then I prefer the kosher salt.
Okay.
But for the everyday thing, then again, you look at it. It's about to start boiling again. Now we're gonna add all jalapenos. And again, put as much as you like. Don't mind me.
Eddie, as you're talking, talk a little bit more about your style of cooking, because you're doing something, you a long time ago were doing something that some folks just now are doing, and that is this great marriage of multiple cuisines, between your background, your Mexican heritage, your background and interest, and Mike's interest even in the Southwest, and then here living in the South.
But, think about this. Mike, he's from Memphis. Now, this guy is about as southern as they come. And he loves his vegetables. And he always encouraged me to try to do things that people can relate to it. See, what better way than to use some of the vegetables that we use in Mexico, like poblanos con chile rellenos, and start to do things a way that people have not seen. So I said, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say things that they eat in the South. And what is it that they eat in the South? They use cornbread. we do con tortillas. so here we go. Now we got something in common.
Right.
Now we can start building from there. And from there on, once I figured it out, that people actually eat a lot of stuff like we do in Mexico, then it became really easy to start messing things up. I mean, messing things up. And people really like the fact that now they can have shrimp and grits done fast, economically, and different. Mm-hmm. You know, I put sugar on my grits. I'm sorry, New York, but I'm gonna do things the way I like to eat them. Because what? The sugar actually cuts through the heat of the pepper. And it blends really good with the acidity of the peppers and the tomatoes. And it becomes this thing that is really, really good. Now, once you got everything done, even though if you see it a little running, you have to think about it. This thing is gonna look solid again. After this, you can serve it right away. Or you can put it on little containers and put it in the cooler, heat it up on the microwave, 45 seconds to a minute, and you're ready to go again. And it lasts a month. This thing never goes bad because it's only milk. And
you have to turn this off for you?
Please.
Okay. Ooh, the famous jalapeno queso dip from Taqueria Del Sol.
There you go. And now here, because with Mexicans, we like to put more jalapenos on top of it. But this time we're gonna do fresh. And then, these are optional. You can put it on if you like it. You don't have to put it on if you don't like it. It really doesn't matter. Once you make it at home, it's your recipe. Right? It's no longer my recipe. So please, take what you like, take away what you don't like. If you're allergic to garlic, please don't put it. I don't want you to be sick. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's the beauty of cooking. You know, it's like, I want to make things my way. Just like in the book. I talk about that in the book. That there's no rules in cooking, you know. I mean, there's a famous chef in the mid-90s who came to that restaurant, and I was serving a beef tenderloin with a white cream sauce. Now he said, no, you don't do that. You know, white sauces are for fish. And I go, well, not in this restaurant and not in my game. Nevertheless, he ordered the steak. And then he came back. I took everything back I said. The thing was delicious. What a great idea. I'm going to do that. Like you said,
Nice. Well, if you were watching today, I was Ligaya Figueres. I am Ligaya Figueres, the dining editor for the AJC. I'm with Eddie Hernandez and with Susan Puckett. The two of them have co-authored this book called Turnip Greens and Tortillas. We're really excited for you guys.
Did anybody have any questions?
Did anybody have any questions?
No questions, but lots of comments about how much they love your queso and your tacos. And can we reiterate when does the book come out?
Absolutely. Okay, so the book,
April the 10th is a national release date. We're going to lay it out here in Atlanta at the History Atlanta Center on April the 12th. And I hope you come. We're going to have a lot of fun.
And well, yes, and there's a few other things we can let them know. If they can't make it to the Atlanta History Center, there are upcoming book signings at all 4 Taqueria Del Sol locations. Did you know this, by the way? You're expected. April 13th and 14th. So on the 13th, that's a Friday, they'll be at the Chambly location right here from 11 until 2. Then you'll be at Westside, so get yourself to Westside from 5:30 until 10. And then Saturday, the following day, from noon until 3, they'll be in Decatur. And in the evening from 5:30 to 10 at the Cheshire Bridge location. And I understand that, so yes, it will be a book signing, but that some of the specials, there will be some food specials running that'll be pulled from the book too.
Yeah, actually on the one week that we're doing the book release, I think we're going to have the churrasco, which is one of my favorites.
Okay.
We're doing the cheeseburger taco, everybody's favorite.
Okay.
And we're doing this is a really cool dish that I like. Is the stir-fried rice with the scallops.
Nice, that's a great one.
You know, and you're actually going to see here how to make fried rice, but taking it apart from the Japanese and southernize it.
Now, southernize.
We're going to southernize this dish by using Creole spices and Tabasco oil. You know, it's just a great dish that I really like.
Right. Well, you know, I didn't know you back then, but I'm looking forward to
That's
the
a great
Eddie, and in 20 more years, I don't know what you're going to be cooking up. So thank you so much. This is Eddie Hernandez from 2001, his partner, business partner Mike Clank, who founded Taqueria Del Sol way back when, and now here we are with our first cookbook. Congratulations, both of you, and thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, okay, ciao.